welcome to Indulge with Iti. Today we're going to be making my mom's amazing kenkey recipe. My mom has been making kenkey at home for as long as I can remember. The quality of mummy's kenkey is top notch. I am a proud kenkey snob simply because I grew up eating one of the best. Just try it for yourselves and see. Please thumbs up this video for my mom and encourage her to come back here from time to time and share her wonderful recipes with us. To make kenkey, we're going to need some finely grounded maize flour. In this recipe, we're going to use two types of maize, the white maize and the yellow maize. It makes no difference which maize you use, but we had both of these handy and so we combined the two. If you happen to be living in Melbourne like myself and are looking to find some maize flour, head down to Thomastown where you will find a number of Indian grocery stores. One of these grocery stores mills grains inside the store. When you place your order, be sure to ask that your maize is milled very finely. Today we're going to be using this large bucket that has been washed with warm water and soap and then cleansed again with hot water. Bucket is going to be used to prepare our kenkey dough. The measurements to make kenkey can vary depending on how much you want to make. In our household, we tend to make a lot at one time and freeze it. If you're planning on making a lot less kenkey or perhaps a small serving for a small family, then adjust the quantity to suit that. In all cases, the method of making this recipe remains the same. The first and most important step is for us to form our maize dough. I added water to the maize and used my clean hand to hydrate the maize and form a paste. As we were preparing this, Mummy shared an interesting superstition with me. So apparently back home in Ghana, there is a belief that when the kenkey dough is mixed by a temperamental person, the dough is likely to ferment quicker than when the dough is prepared by someone who is timid. So if you have someone in your household who has a short fuse, this is truly their time to shine. I checked up on this dough every 2 days or so and turned it with a muchia. A muchia is the traditional wooden stick that is used to drive our swallows. This is what we call it in Hausa. All in all, it took 2 weeks for our kenkey to ferment. You will know when yours is ready when your kenkey perceives a sour smell. And if you feel up to it, taste the dough, and if it has a sharp and sour taste, then we are ready to go. Since I made a point to turn my dough every 2 days, there was no fungus on top of the liquid. Here I have removed about 2 cups of the liquid and put it inside a pot. Next, I've added some of that dough into that same pot, which we're going to put on the stove and drive. If you've ever prepared bonku, then this step is very familiar. What we're going to do is add some salt and to form something that looks very similar to bonku. For the quantity of kenkey that we are preparing, I've added about a 1/4 cup of salt. Please make sure you adjust the salt content to suit the quantity of kenkey that you wish to prepare. And don't forget to taste as you go as well. Once the salt has dissolved and your batter is somewhat smooth, go ahead and place it onto your stove and start driving. After a few minutes of putting in some elbow grease, you should have a very thick dough on your hands. Go ahead and mix that in with the remaining dough that you had left over from before. The very same maize dough that we fermented can also be used to prepare bonku. If you would like to, you can put some aside for that. Once you have introduced your cooked dough into your fermented dough, use your hands to combine everything together. You should get a soft dough. At this point, Mummy decided to add a bit more of that fermented water into this dough mixture because she said it was too thick. Also added another 1/4 cup of salt and then mixed everything together one more time. As you can see, our dough has come together and now it's time to get wrapping and then boiling. So there are 2 methods for wrapping the kenkey in this video. The first time I filmed this video, I only had foil available and there was no corn. So here we have some foil paper which we're going to lace with cling wrap. Then the next step is to measure out the kenkey and then to put it onto the foil and then fold it all the way up to the top and then secure the sides. This is a great method to use if you don't mind using plastic and aluminium foil. The water stays out of the kenkey and the foil helps to trap in the heat to ensure that it cooks evenly. Another method is to use corn husks. Please stay tuned for a more detailed video where I will explain how I dried and prepped the corn husk for the kenkey. Once you've arranged all your kenkey into a large pot, fill it up with water so that the majority of kenkey is submerged in this water. Due to the large amount of kenkey that we are working with, this kenkey was cooking for about 8 hours to really ensure that it was soft and, like we say in Hausa, donku. Be sure to top up the water every hour or so because as it boils the water evaporates, and failing to add more water will result to burning the kenkey that is at the bottom of the pot. So our kenkey is ready. Have a look at that. Very easy to unwrap the plastic. And we have a very soft, stiff, and malleable kenkey. Eating the kenkey that was wrapped up in the corn husk was a whole nother experience. It felt more authentic and more close to home. Here I have some shito and some pepper as well. If you're interested to learn how to make shito, I do have a great recipe for that also on my channel. I will leave the link in the description bar below and also in the corner above. In total, we made about 27 rolls of kenkey. This kenkey was enjoyed with some fried snapper, tiger prawns, some shito and some pepper sauce. This kenkey stores really well in the freezer. Just take it out the night before you plan on eating it to allow it to thaw. Place it into a steamer or into a pot of boiling water and allow it to cook for 20 minutes and you're good to go. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and thank you all for watching up until this point. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and joining this great community. Thank you so much to all my returning subscribers. It's always a pleasure to have you and I look forward to catching you all again in my next video.